So, Walter Mitty has an incredible life. He has climbed mountains, fought sharks, outrun volcanoes, saved lives, and even fallen in love. And all of that, he did it without leaving his desk. Well, why? Because, none of it actually happened. It all happened in his head while he was supposed to be doing something else. Now, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty is about this distance between the life we imagine and the life we actually live, and what it finally takes to close that distance. Hi, I'm a psychiatrist and I'm also a big dreamer, so you might say this film is a little personal. And this channel is SlowReel, where we watch films slowly for what they are really trying to tell us. And this movie, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, I would say is one of those films that on the surface might look like a travel adventure, right? But underneath, it's about so much more. I would say it's about a moment that a person stops rehearsing their life and actually starts living it. Now, quick warning, I will be talking about the whole film, including the ending, so if you haven't seen it yet, as usual, go watch it first and then come back. Now, Walter works at Life magazine. He manages the photographs that might become covers, that might matter someday. Basically, photographs that haven't been used yet. So you could say he's the keeper of unlived potential. And as I said before, he daydreams. He daydreams constantly. These daydreams are very elaborate and vivid in cinematic detail. He sometimes imagines himself as a hero and an adventurer, someone who acts instead of hesitates. And then, after that daydream, he just snaps back to reality. He's at his desk, he has his forms, and his tiring life. Now, this film treats these daydreams with affection. I mean, they could be presented as pathetic, but they are not. They are presented as something beautiful. And I think it's important because it doesn't show that the daydreaming is the problem. Now, as I said, I am also a big dreamer. One of the dreams is having a sailboat, even though I don't even know how to sail yet. Also quitting the 9 to 5 as most people do, building something of my own. And that dreaming part, it comes natural to me. I think it always has. There is something about imagining a future version of your life that feels almost as good as living it. And sometimes it's all, better because in the dream nothing goes wrong. But for a long time, my dreams stayed as dreams. And I think a big part of that was anxiety. It was imagining something, but actually doing it. Like there was such a big difference between those two things. It wasn't just difficult to do those things, but it felt dangerous. Like deep inside, it felt dangerous. Like if I actually tried, maybe I would find out the dream wasn't possible and then I wouldn't even have my dreams. So people keep it safe, people keep their dreams in their head, as Walter Mitty does at his desk and not living his life. So the film is very careful about why Walter doesn't act. It doesn't show him as lazy or having a lack of ambition, but I think it's more like that Walter doesn't believe that the real version of events will be as good as the imagined one. He doesn't trust that showing up will be worth the risk of showing up and finding out that it really isn't as good as he imagined. And that is anxiety's most insidious trick. It doesn't just say, hey, you can't do this. It says, why even find out? It offers the dream as a consolation prize for never attempting the real thing. Hey, stay here, stay in your dream, it's safer. And this imagined version, it can't disappoint you. And so Walter daydreams and imagines instead of actually doing that thing. Now, planning is its own kind of staying still. I think planning can be dressed up as progress, and that version I know very well too. I really love the planning stage, the spreadsheet and the research and imagining how amazingly things can go. And as Walter, I'm very good at staying in that stage indefinitely because maybe you recognize it in yourself as well, but I think planning feels productive, right? And at the same time, it keeps you perfectly safe from the moment of actual attempt and thus from the possible moment of failure. And this film, I think, hits it on the nail on the head. I think that's the expression. Yeah, hit the nail on the head with this one. As we can see in the movie, Walter isn't afraid of failure exactly. I think he's afraid of the dreams and the life coming together. Because once you actually take that step and go on that adventure, the dream either becomes real or it doesn't. It either succeeds or it fails. And I think that is terrifying in a way that planning never is. Planning is simple and safe. I think this is a good time to say subscribe if you have a notes app full of ideas you haven't started yet. Walter Mitty and I, we see you, we get you, so come on over and subscribe. Okay, now in the movie, Walter goes, he takes that step. He just books that flight, he gets on the boat, and then he skateboards down a volcanic road in Iceland because why not? He chases a lead that might be nothing and he shows up. And the film does something I find really moving in these sequences. It shows Walter as being terrified on that boat. He's uncertain and lost in these different countries. It shows the real life, that anxiety doesn't disappear when he starts moving. Anxiety comes with him. But it stops from anxiety from being in the controller's seat. It stops the anxiety being the driver. It is there, but it isn't making the choices for you. And I think that that shift from anxiety becoming a passenger, not a leader, is the whole journey of the film. And it doesn't happen because Walter solved his fear or reasoned his way out of it. It just happened because something external gave him a reason to move. A reason that was bigger than any reason to stay still. In this film, it is a photograph. It is a missing negative, something that mattered enough to go after, to find. For me, it was accountability. I started holding regular meetings with people I trusted, people who would ask week after week what I had actually done, not just what I was planning. I mean, the planning is needed too, but actually, if I took those actionable steps, and that external structure, I think did something internal. It changed something in me that I couldn't quite manage on my own. And it made the attempt feel witnessed and somehow even more interesting. The dream, for me and Walter, was always there, it just needed somewhere to land. When Walter eventually finds Sean O'Connell, the photographer he's been chasing across the world, and Sean is sitting at the top of a mountain, camera ready, watching a snow leopard that has just appeared in his viewfinder, he doesn't take that photograph. And of course, Walter asks why. And Sean says, some things are meant just to be experienced, not captured or shared, just seen. And I think that moment is the thesis of the entire film in one scene. Basically, Walter spent his whole life capturing things in his head. He filed them, he kept them safe, he experienced them from a careful distance. But what Sean is saying, that sometimes the thing itself is enough. You don't need to possess it and have a like physical reminder of it. You just need to be there. And also, the best things in a life aren't the ones you can keep. They are the ones that happened while you were actually present for them. That summit he took, the light, the animal that appeared and disappeared, and was real for exactly as long as it was real. You can't daydream those things, you just have to go and step out there. So, the film ends with Walter on a New York street holding the Life magazine that became the final cover. And on it, the photograph Sean did take. It was Walter himself. He was caught in a moment of pure presence, doing his actual job, not performing anything. And the cover of a magazine called Life. It was Walter's life. The actual one, not the imagined or planned one, the real one. Now, I don't think that dreaming per se is a problem, like the sailboat, the adventure, and the completely different life. Go ahead, dream it, let it fuel you. I think the energy we get from dreaming is real, and that's what matters. But what matters as much is that at some point the dream has to touch down somewhere. It needs a specific date or a ticket or a person who will ask you next week what you actually did. It needs the moment where you stop rehearsing and just go. Walter Mitty went, and the photograph they used wasn't from any of his daydreams, it was from his actual life. Now, I am absolutely interested in this. What is the dream you keep coming back to? The one that you haven't fulfilled yet? If you're open to it, then drop it in the comments below. I love reading the comments and answering to them. This channel, I think, is me stepping out there, stopping planning and actually doing the thing, and I'm loving it week by week. Yeah. Yes, so share a dream. Sometimes saying it out loud is the first step. As for me, I one day want to own a sailboat. Maybe it's a small one, maybe it's a bigger one, maybe I begin with taking classes, who knows, but it's a dream that I want to put a date to. Okay, thanks for watching. Do like and subscribe, comment, everything that helps the YouTube algorithm. And I will see you next week with the next video. Bye.